What is up, YouTube? So, today I'm heading over to Planet Fitness to go train some shoulders. If you've been keeping up with the past few videos I've posted, you'll know that my shoulder was slightly tweaked on my left shoulder was slightly tweaked on my chest day earlier in the week. To kind of delay the process to hitting shoulders, I did an arm day and then a back day. So I've had about over 48 hours of rest. And with all that rest and just staying hydrated, my shoulder feels pretty good today. So, with that all being said, I am still going to take it light on shoulders today. Not going to do many pressing. And for any of the raises and face pulls, I'm probably just going to take it light today. Again, I really don't want to irritate it. The injury or tweak wasn't bad enough to the point where I wanted to skip shoulders this week. Like I said, it feels good now. So I'm just going to kind of ease back into it a little bit. Maybe go about 70% intensity today and then kick it up about 80% next week, 90%, and then back to 100% in about a few weeks. Again, in my opinion, injury is the worst thing that could happen. There's obviously worser things that could happen, but injury is something I want to stay away from, especially for me. I take it to a whole another level mentally, and I just get into like a real bad depression, and I really don't want to have any of that in my life right now, um, because bodybuilding is honestly so important to me. It's just saying it's important is honestly an understatement. It's such a lifestyle for me, and in my past, I've had a lot of like issues in terms of being heavy, and I was made fun of it a lot when I was younger. And it honestly, like, learning how to lift weights and becoming like happy with how I looked. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna be 100% happy with how I looked, because like how I look, I just always want to be better. But just bodybuilding, not even necessarily bodybuilding, but weightlifting in general and transforming my body in general has been such a big part of my life. And, being injured and having something stop such a big part of my life honestly sets me back mentally so much, and it puts me into this huge funk. I remember I was injured back when I was 15. So I'm 20 now. When I was 15, I hurt myself when I was deadlifting, and it really messed me up, like, mentally. And I was in a bad spot then. And, I've been really trying to be cautious. Like, I still train very intense. If you've watched my other videos, I always preach going as intense as possible. But, again, injury is something you really don't want to mess with. I mean, it'll physically set you back, and for me, it mentally sets me back, too. So, it's just, that's at least for me. But I don't know if any of you guys could relate or not. But, this like bodybuilding is something not really necessarily new for me. Like, when I was heavier, when I was younger, I like the style of training I was into was bodybuilding. But I guess I never really thought of it like that. Like, I just thought of it as I want to get bigger and I want to like kind of lose some fat and look better. I wouldn't say, I think bodybuilding is more when you're actually on stage posing, but the style of training and my diet was similar to a bodybuilding diet, I guess you can say, when I first started. Then I had my little powerlifting phase, but through years and years of kind of figuring out what I really want to do, bodybuilding definitely takes the crown, I guess you could say, because that's something I definitely want to do. It's been a passion of mine for years now, and I'm very excited. I committed to actually getting a coach and committed to definitely competing in the near future. But like I was saying about my past, like, just lifting weights in general has helped me through some serious shit in the past. So like, being injured and not being able to do something that's so important to me really fucking sucks. So I really try to stay away from injury and just try to listen to my body as much as I can. Which also, on the other hand, sucks, because I really do want to progress and I really want to push myself every single day. But some days you kind of just have to stay a little bit more conservative and, not risk injury. But with all that aside, main topic for tonight is shoulders, and I'm probably going to do the same shoulder workout I've been doing, starting with front delt, then going into some side, then rear, and then kind of repeating the cycle all over again. The set breakdowns for that is going to be probably about 4 sets total for front delt, and then 8 to 10 sets for side and rear. Again, I feel like my front delts are a bit more dominant in my shoulder. Like, if this is my front delt and this is my rear delt, I feel like they're on a downward angle, and I kind of want to get it like a full rounded, like bowling ball look. Like, I don't want to have my shoulder go down like this. I want to keep it nice and full at that center and rear part of it. So, yeah, I'm going to try to do a couple more sets. Then I'm going to try to do more sets of side and rear to kind of overcompensate and work it more than the front to kind of catch it up a little bit. And to be fair, your front delts are worked when you're benching or doing any sort of press for chest. So again, they're kind of still getting that stimulation in other days, whereas side and rear delt might not as much. I mean, rear delt will be hit through back on back days when you row, but definitely not as much as the front when you're doing any like incline press. But yeah, so probably for today in terms of taking it easy, I probably will still do about the same sets, just maybe not as like push past till failure. Like I'll go as many as I can, like as many reps as I can, but definitely with a lighter load and maybe not too many partials today. But yeah, with all that out of the way, I'm gonna just enjoy the rest of this ride, listen to some music, and I'll see you all for the first work set of shoulders. Probably gonna be not inclined, seated military press on the Smith machine. I'm thinking I might start with that, but anything could change. I might actually end up starting with a front raise. You never know. But same thing for warm-ups. I basically warm up my shoulders just like I warm up my chest. I basically just do some forearms for, again, stabilization. It's very important. And I'll warm up my rotator cuff with just going to the cable stack and doing some of these rotations for the rotator cuff. Again, warming up is very, very important. You don't want to just jump right into the first movement. Even though you're targeting a specific muscle, there are a lot of other muscles that are incorporated in doing that movement. So you want to make sure they're all ready before you go into that movement. But with all that being said, I'll see you all for the first work set of shoulders.
All right, what's going on, everybody? So I'm starting off my shoulder workout with some Smith machine military press right here. Like I mentioned in the car, my left shoulder wasn't feeling the absolute best a couple days ago. Going into this workout, it felt completely fine. But being that it wasn't feeling great a couple days ago, I wanted to take it a little bit easier on the shoulders today. But for this first work set, I believe I got a plate on each side, and it was feeling really, really good. So being that it felt good, I wanted to push it to failure still. But as you could see, I have my elbows more tucked in now, and they're not flaring out as much. And this is going to result in a better, more comfortable position for my shoulders to be in. Yeah, I might be a little stronger if I flare out my elbows, but it could potentially lead to a big shoulder injury that I do not want to have to deal with. So over the next couple months, I'm really going to try to dial in on my form, not only on shoulder press, but any sort of incline chest press as well. Because I really don't want to have to go through another injury. So again, learning that good form now is going to just help me for the longevity health of my shoulders. But like I mentioned, that first set felt really nice, so I upped the weight a bit for this second work set. I believe I put a 25 on each side over the 45, and I believe I got 7 or 8 reps by myself, and then I'm going to go in and do a drop set. Again, 7 or 8 reps is not too low in volume, but in my head, I kind of wanted to go for between 12 and 15 reps, so I just took off the 25s and repped out a few more, pushed out a few more reps with just the 45 on each side. In a few seconds, you're going to see me slam the back of my head into the bar because I forgot I racked it a bit lower. So that was a bit stupid, but whatever. But anyway, these felt super duper nice here. Again, I took all the movements today a bit lighter. I think this is the heaviest I went, and I probably shouldn't have went this heavy just due to the fact that my shoulder wasn't feeling the greatest before the workout, but everything was feeling fine now, and everything feels fine doing this voiceover a few days later, so obviously everything worked out. But now moving over into some dumbbell raises. Typically, I'd like to use the 30s to 35s on these to just go a bit heavier. But I can confidently say that I will not be going up to that weight anytime soon. I have the 15s in each hand right here, and they felt absolutely phenomenal. Again, as you could see, I'm taking this weight very, very slow and controlled, And this is going to result in a lot better of a side delt pump and a lot better for growth in the future. I can confidently say that my shoulders don't get too sore whenever I train them usually, but just going slower and controlled and really focusing on the squeezes today resulted in today being the third day in a row that my shoulders are sore. So I'm absolutely going to keep this training style for shoulders, even when my left shoulder feels 100% back to normal. Again, taking this weight slow and controlled, I only got it for 15 reps. That's the exact amount of volume that I want, and it felt perfectly. I'm not taking the weight all the way down because I believe that when you take the weight all the way down to your sides, it has a bit of a dead zone where you could build up a lot of momentum to take the weight all the way up to the top. So in my mind, a full rep for side delts is taking them up all the way, holding it for a couple seconds, and only taking it down about 70%. That way you keep tension on your side delts the entire time. Now moving over into my first rear delt movement of the day. This might look a little unconventional to you, but I saw a video on TikTok saying that this is the best way to activate your rear delts. And let me tell you, I highly, highly suggest everybody doing this movement to grow their rear delts. My rear delts are still sore today, and I'm 100% sure it's from this movement. I only have the 30-pound barbell in each hand, and the 30-pound barbell in both of the hands. And I did it for about 4 sets of 20, and the burn was phenomenal off the first rep. It just felt really nice. It's inevitable that you're going to target some of your upper traps and some of your back with rear delt pec deck flies, even if you hold the bar a little bit higher. But I can confidently say that I felt all of that last movement in my rear delts. But now moving over into the last front delt movement of the day, just doing some machine shoulder press. This felt super duper nice, just going nice, slow, and controlled. Again, constant tension on the muscle. I'm not going to stop at the bottom for too long. And again, just squeezing out a few partials. Like I mentioned on dumbbell side raises before, how I don't like taking the weight down all the way and I kind of only take it down 70% of the way. This is where this type of movement also plays the same role. Being that I'm laying sideways on the bench, it's keeping constant tension on my side delts the entire time. Again, and not going down all the way. I'm keeping those shoulders in a really big targeted active zone. I have when I'm doing shoulders, I think of the last portion of the rep as a dead zone where you're not really using too much of your side delts, but keeping them out of that dead zone. I call it the active zone, and it just results in a really nice burn the entire time. Again, it might look a little stupid laying on the bench like that, but I'm telling you, you'll have the best shoulders in the gym if you do that movement. It felt absolutely amazing. I only used 10-pound dumbbells or 12-pound dumbbells in each hand on there. Just again, nice, slow, and controlled, getting a good squeeze at the top and taking the weight down slow. That's the way to go. Now moving over to the last shoulder workout of the day. Just some rear delt pec deck flies. Being that I'm grabbing the bar or the handles a little bit higher, I will be targeting more of my rear delts doing that because it kind of deactivates my traps since my hands are higher. But I'm telling you, that last rear delt movement felt much better, but this still felt really nice. Hope you all enjoyed the shoulder workout. No post-workout talk today, and I'll see you tomorrow for some arms.